Hey everyone, welcome back to Raccoon City. You got Tim and Sid from PlayStation here.
Howdy ho.
And we're joined by Resident Evil 3 producer Peter Fabiano.
Hey guys.
Peter, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So what we're going to be doing in this video is actually comparing the original 1999 Resident Evil 3 to this gorgeous, stunning, upcoming Resident Evil 3 remake that you've been working on, Peter.
Awesome. Thanks for the kind words.
Yeah, of course. Before we kick into the 1999 footage, just from a top level, that's pretty gnarly. What would you say is the biggest changes that have happened with this remake?
Well, as you can see, we've used the RE engine for this one as well, and it's a fully reformed, redone from ground up Raccoon City. So You'll see a lot more of the city here. There are changes to the way things play out, and I think it's going to be something fun for everyone.
Yeah, and it's like I'm seeing some connective tissue from obviously the Resident Evil 2 remake, absolutely celebrated, incredible horror game. So from just at a core gameplay level, can people kind of expect some of the same core gameplay that they loved with the Resident Evil 2 remake in here?
Certainly, you're going to see a lot of similarities, but at the same time, as with the original Resident Evil 3, there's a bit more action oriented design here, so you'll see a little bit more. As you just saw earlier in the footage, you have the perfect dodge, which you'll be able to utilize and play, I think, which adds a lot more to the gameplay as well.
Cool. And then when we jump back to the 1999 version, we'll see some of the original, where they actually introduced the 180-degree quick turn and dodge.
The dodge mechanic.
It was a little harder to pull off back then, but...
Here we go.
Yeah, so now we're
back.
Look
at those graphics.
Yeah. One thing that's interesting that I think we'll see and would love to hear you talk about once we get back to the 2020 version is the Resident Evil 3 Raccoon City was a lot of narrow corridors, and it seems like this Raccoon City that Capcom's developing is just much wider and fleshed out.
That's right, yeah, you'll see more open spaces. It's not an open world game by any means, but it has more open spaces, and we wanted to balance it out. You'll have some claustrophobic areas as well.
Cool.
So it's a really good balance of the two.
Awesome.
Oh, I remember this scene so well. I loved this game when it first came out. I was a huge Resident Evil fan, and I remember 3 distinctly. I think we're going to be hearing more about it because it did introduce some really cool gamelay elements that we hadn't seen. Actually, here's one of them. Yeah,
this is, to me as a player, this registered as really the designers saying, you're going to want to use these barrels in the environment, which was totally new to the series at this point.
Everybody knows what a red barrel's about now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's lining them up,
Whoa.
and there you go.
So satisfying. And I recall, obviously you could still lock, I think you'd hold down R1, and worth noting that this was, original PlayStation game back in 1999. That's what we're looking at here. And you could kind of lock onto environmental traps and stuff with R2 and help you kind of select that, because we didn't have the beautiful, free aiming over-the-sholdder
That's right.
camera.
It's not the over-the-shoulder camera. It's a fixed camera.
Zombie's
here,
having a Jill sandwich there.
Yeah, he's taking a bite. I always, even though it was always annoying to get the ankle biters there, the animation of her just
picking their heads off. I love it.
This is very satisfying.
And we're back.
This is wild, seeing this juxtaposition here.
And I love this note here because it almost feels reminiscent of that classic scene from the 1999 game.
Right, and you'll see a lot more in the environments here, right? They're a lot more vivid.
Yeah.
We really wanted to make the city still feel alive. It's at the early state of the outbreak, and there you go.
That's
Boom,
awesome.
Barrel.
That's great. Yeah, there's more zombie variety. The shops,
neon signs.
What we're seeing here, Moon's Donuts and the Crab Shack there,
right.
all of it is just, I feel like it just has more personality. It's just more fleshed out and vibrant.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the city itself is almost its own character in a way. And the team had a lot of fun building out. Oh, there's another one. You see the environmental object that you can use to your advantage. It kind of stuns the zombies.
And that's brand new to this remake. I don't think that was featured exactly that same way in the original. Really cool. They make a pit stop in a donut shop. Jill, she did work out of the Raccoon Police Department, so the fact that she's in a donut shop...
She would know this place like the back of her hand.
We'll just go right into the stereotypes.
That's right.
Peter, can you confirm that you can eat donuts? Oh, never mind. We have some new footage
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Okay.
So the beginning of that, the very beginning of this video, we saw Jill kind of noting that there's like a substation that she needs to go get some power reactivated. And you actually have the same task in the 1999 version, which that's what she's on her way to do here.
Oh, nice shot.
You get the twofers.
I'll tell you, people don't always appreciate what they have these days. I mean, this is what gaming was growing up, and this is state of the art. And it's still a blast.
Well, it looked great for its time.
Absolutely.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it was terrific. There's more zombies on screen at the same time. I remember that was a big thing about this game. Oh, there's that precious red herb.
Yeah.
Tim, what are you doing?
The potency of your, I was feeling pretty confident when when we recorded. Yeah, worth noting, this is all pre-captured gameplay that we're looking over here. But speaking of crafting herbs, Resident Evil 3, one thing that really stood out to me was the gunpowder and the reloading tool. They're seeing some gunpowder there.
Yep.
You could craft your own ammo, which ended up kind of becoming, here and there, it would kind of come and go with the series. But Pete, was this the first time in the series?
Well, you had it in RE2, the reimagining of RE2, right? So it returns here.
Yeah. So it's so cool to kind of see it full circle because I remember it in Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 2.
Right.
And just I'm excited with the remake to go back and see where that kind of came from.
Yeah, it's great because you have to make choices. You decide which ammo types do I want to make, what's more important, what's more valuable. Had not been seen in the series before this game, and I remember it was a bit controversial back at the time in this particular game from '99. But now I actually prefer it. I love being able to craft ammo.
Cool.
It's such a precious commodity. So, and yeah, at this point in the original, Jill has to turn the power back on to parts of the city.
Right.
And this was an interesting part of the original game, which was, I think, were these called live events?
Yeah, the live selection.
Live selection.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about this.
So then you could make the choice. Right?
Yeah. And in this case,
Brian
chose to increase the electro output, which is kind of an interesting, now,
You get the environmental attack.
Yeah. And so,
kinda.
But now you can kind of, do it, it's more organically. So, and if I'm understanding right, those aren't in the remake. The live selections.
That is correct.
Right, okay.
Yeah, this time around we wanted to tell one consistent story. The director really wanted to tell Jill's story as she goes through and makes her way.
And that's something that's cool, is that it's not a one-to-one remake across the board, because this is the substation or the sort of where you're trying to turn the power on.
That's right.
As it appears in the remake, right?
Yes, that's correct. And I think it's important, and I can't say this enough. We wanted to make it feel fresh but familiar. So you'll see a lot of new things for players of the original, and there's plenty of stuff for newcomers alike. And there you go.
Yeah.
So these are the drain demos, right?
Yeah, and these guys look pretty faithful to the way that they appeared in the original, and just very fast and skittering, definitely good for shotgun's definitely a good tool.
Yeah,
for them.
Yeah, definitely. You want to take care of them quick.
Yeah. But yeah, it's what's one thing that I feel like Capcom and your team is just incredible at with remakes is delivering on the core of what made the gameplay and the story and the characters great, and changing enough that it makes it feel fresh, not just for newcomers, but also if you played the original.
Right.
What's great about horror, right, is the unexpected.
That's right. So it's great that you say that. Something that we definitely want to keep true to the essence of the originals, but we want to make it feel fresh as well. So if you were familiar with some of the original stuff, you'll find some changes here.
Yeah.
There's the big boy.
That's, and of course the original game, the 1999 original, was called Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, and so it wouldn't be anything without
our buddy
Nemesis.
That's right.
So I went and got some, some footage of a battle, just a random sort of street encounter, because he'd dog you throughout the game. And he's doing the same again in this remake, right, Pete?
That's right. The original called him the Pursuer, right?
Yeah.
And in this one, he follows the same path. He's out for Jill and whatever remaining STARS members are out there.
Yeah. And here we see like his strategy appears to be sort of a lot of running, punching. He's got these tentacles that you can ensnare you with, and obviously he wants to end them. What can you say about how Nemesis has been like updated and changed, just from like an aesthetic to even like an AI sort of level?
Well, first and foremost, aesthetically, you'll see that we were able to use current graphics to make him look even. There's
awesome.
our buddy.
That's so cool.
even more imposing. You've got this hulking menace chasing you.
He looks even bigger now.
He's huge.
Yeah, he's to scale. So yeah, you'll notice here he's got his tentacles, and he's gonna be chasing you all throughout. As soon as you see him, you can stand and fight if that's what you choose. But I suggest you run. Get out of his way because he's very nimble. He's very fast in this one.
Generally the preferred strategy in...
Well, I want players to play the way they feel is best for them, but, running is one strategy. You could try and take him down if you'd like, though.
Yeah, and one of the last times that we talked with you, Pete, we were kind of
there you go.
checking out Tyrant, and that's a new move. That leap is huge. From the Resident Evil 2 remake, how much of that, the reaction to Tyrant and how he was implemented in RE2 Remake, do you feel like influenced how Nemesis is?
Well, when the director saw what they had done with RE2 and Tyrant, he's like, wait a minute, he's kind of getting to Nemesis levels here, so he didn't want to be outdone. And we took that in stride. Of course, some of the stuff we took from 2, but Nemesis is his own, right? His own brand of fear, terror,
right?
I think that'll come out when you play.
We'll see more of him too. Here we have Jill in one of her earlier encounters with Carlos, who is from the, I think is it the Umbrella Countermeasure Service or...
That's right, Umbrella Biohazard Countermeasure Service.
Yeah, and he's had, similar to Jill, like, can you talk about how your team updated the characters, both from like a visual and...
Well, one thing that was important to us is that Carlos appeared to be a partner to Jill.
Yeah.
We wanted him to feel like someone that she could rely on. And with the updates to Jill's visuals, with the original, she needed to stand out in that environment and the graphics of that day. But with this game, it's very photorealistic. Right?
Yeah.
We use some photogrammetry. So we wanted her to fit in those environments and feel believable. And we think that she's still the Jill that everyone knows and loves. You'll see a lot of that come out with the voice acting and the performances. But yeah, I think she looks great. The team loves the way she came out. Carlos too.
Yeah, they really, I think, are really faithful to the spirit of what they were like in the original, while just feeling a little more. I'm a sucker for the original, PlayStation games voice acting, very of its era. But it just updates it really, really nicely.
Yeah, I think we still managed to keep, an essence of the time as well. It's the 90s, right?
Yeah.
These guys.
Yeah, these were like a iteration of the Hunter enemy that was with the series from the very beginning, but kind of a different take on them, right?
Right.
More agile. Yeah, I remember fighting these guys. These are probably my most dreaded enemies in all of Resident Evil.
Yeah, they're tough.
They could one-shot you. Yep. And, I was purposefully, I'll say, playing a little sloppily here, and admittedly on easy mode. I really wanted to get this stuff.
This is all you.
This is all me. Yeah, you can blame me.
Oh, there you go.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. They look more froggy in this one.
Yeah, I think it was like the Hunter Beta or something like that.
That's right, yeah.
And
you would have seen one of those in the trailer, right?
Yeah, we got a little tease, and I think the location in the remake where Jill is here is a little bit different, but some familiar threats
in the
here.
Here. Oh, look at our buddy.
What is this?
Yeah,
that's our buddy Hunter Gamma.
Yeah. Sorry, Hunter Gamma. Yeah, they are the big mouth guys. I said beta before.
That is freakish.
Look at that. What's happening there?
Oh, man. Yeah, you're definitely dead.
Had to make a comparison. And this is going to be the final comparison that we make between just sort of a more focused boss battle between Nemesis that shows him having a weapon and discarding it and kind of what he does in battle. But
I remember this fight very well, actually. This was a tough one.
Really tough. So what would you say, Pete, are some of the biggest changes from Nemesis's battle tactics that we can see in the remake?
Well, I think you saw it earlier, but clearly he has that big leap that he can make. And we have given him a variety of weapons as well, that he can use at his disposal, and I think you have something coming up here.
Yeah, and because it was a big deal that he had a rocket launcher, I felt like it was kind of symbolic because most Resident Evil games ended with you using wielding a rocket launcher, and here the main enemy just has one on him. And then this is brand new toy for Nemesis here.
That's right, he's got a flamethrower. So fun times.
Yeah, looks like Jill's combating that with her own grenade rounds. He looks so cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, man. And I just love how also just classic this boss battle is with the, I want to, of course, shoot the glowing orange bits. And but yeah, just this environment. And again, we were talking about before, but how, like, you know, to my knowledge, I obviously haven't played the remake all the way here, and I don't recognize this area from the original, so there's just a lot of fresh stuff in there.
That's right. I mean, one of the things that we need to look at is pacing.
Yeah.
So as we're building the game out, and there's a lot of iteration, and it just made sense for us to put a boss battle here.
Yeah.
It just felt right, and we're like, okay, you know, now's the right time. So we gave him a flamethrower, and we get a big boss battle at the top of this construction site.
Yeah.
This is epic. This is super cool.
So cool.
And he's got a variety of moves here too.
Yeah, it just totally changes up his game.
Ooh.
But we won't.
You beat him. You finally got him.
Yeah, right.
Did you?
Of course, he's down
Did you
forever,
though?
right?
That's it.
Well, Pete, before we wrap up, anything else you wanted to mention about the remake here?
Well, we just hope that people get to pick it up, play, and enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, we put a lot of work into making this something special, and we think that there's something special there for everybody.
Awesome. It'll be out on April 3rd.
That's correct.
On PlayStation 4. So thanks, everybody, for watching.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me.
Looking great.
Thank you.
PlayStation